Hello everyone and welcome back to 27 Fox Place. Fall has officially arrived and the days are shorter, the nights are cooler, and we've been having such beautiful sunny weather that it's hard to stay indoors and keep up with the cleaning. Of course, I have laundry that I need to transfer over to the dryer just like every morning, and our washing machine has a delay setting, so I can program the washer to run an hour before I get up in the morning, and then when I get up all I have to do is put the clothes in the dryer and it cuts my laundry time in half so that I can get a jump start on the day. And once the clothes get into the dryer, I can program another load to run the next morning so that I can repeat the same process all over again. And now that the washer is empty, I can set up the next load, and I'll add the scent beads, the white vinegar, and the detergent, and then I can load up the washer so that it's ready for the next day. And once that's all done, I can hang up the clothes to dry. One of the mistakes I made when we bought the new washer and dryer was not getting the smaller pedestal washer, and our washer has a huge capacity, but it's not great for smaller loads. And it wasn't until I started using the washer that I realized I didn't have enough delicates to run a full load, and I really didn't have anywhere to soak things that were stained. And so for the delicates, I use mesh laundry bags to wash the delicate items with the rest of the laundry. I always start to look for excuses to get outside in the fall. The weather starts cooling down, so it's nice to work outside, but there's only a month or two left in the growing season, so we always try to do as much as we can while the days are still warm and sunny. And we've been taking care of a few things around the house the past few weeks, and we've been cleaning up the yard, and we finally finished up a few projects that we started last fall. And we added some drip irrigation and finished up a brick pad that we started for the trash cans. And last year we removed all the plants from this area and put down sand and pavers, but it rained so much that we never got around to cutting the bricks and finishing up the project, and we didn't want to run into the same problem this year. So I marked the cuts on the bricks and gave them to my husband to make the cuts, and then we had to clean them up and fill in the cracks with sand so that we could check this project off of our to-do list. And at the beginning of the year, it snowed here, and the storm knocked over a small tree in the back, and we were able to tie it back up, but we finally decided to take it out, and it looks like the tree was dying anyway, so it turned out to be a pretty good decision. And I cut back the canopy a few weeks ago, and we were finally able to cut out the trunk of the tree and the larger branches, and the wood is still green, but we'll be able to use it for firewood once it dries out. But our wood rack is already full, so we really didn't have any place to store the wood, so we just tossed it on the patio just to get it out of the grass. And now I need to stack it up and get it out of the way for now. And I'm stacking the larger pieces into a pile, and I'm using the buckets to contain all of the smaller pieces. And we do have a wood rack, but it's full at the moment, so we have a whole stack of wood we need to burn so that we can make room for the new wood. And of course, there is cleaning inside that I need to do today, but we finally had a few days of beautiful fall weather, and the day was starting to warm up, so I had to make a quick change into a pair of shorts. But the temperatures are expected to drop 20 to 30 degrees in the next few days, so the last thing I wanted was to be stuck indoors, and I was having trouble getting motivated to do anything that didn't involve taking a nap on the patio. But I really didn't want to get too far behind today, so in order to get motivated, I tried to think of all of the cleaning that I could do outside, which is pretty much all the tasks that I usually avoid during the hot summer months.
In this moment, forever be, forever be.
I use a duster to quickly dust the house every week, but every time I dust, a little bit of dust is left behind, so I wipe everything down with the damp microfiber when I zone clean, but I need to keep the lampshades dry, and the duster can also transfer dirt to the lampshade. So instead, a clean vacuum attachment with soft bristles is a good way to remove dust from lampshades. But I prefer to blow the dust out of the shades to avoid the extra wear and tear, and I usually include lampshades in the zone that I'm cleaning that week, but I'm cleaning all of the shades today, and mostly it's just so that I can work outside, but I've been skipping over the lampshades in some of the zones because of the weather, so I want to get them all clean so that I can get back on track. So after I rounded up all of the lampshades in the house, I took them outside so that I could use the leaf blower to blow the dust off of the shades, and I just turn the shade around a few times until all of the dust is gone, and it's usually very satisfying to watch the dust cloud that comes off the shades, but I couldn't get the right camera angle to show all of the dust in the air this time. Most of the lampshades are easy enough to remove, but I do have a pair of lamps that I can't get the lampshades off, so I just bring the whole lamp outside, and once all the shades are dusted off, I just take them all back in the house and put them back.
Sweetheart, when you're You're my sweetheart. I will stay just to feel your heart pumping next to mine. Do you feel that I'm your missing part? That you're finally right. You got me out of this feverish dream. You are holding my hand. I have no clue, don't know what it means.
The top of this lamp has been wobbly for years and I keep meaning to fix it, and now it finally reached a point where the shade doesn't sit level anymore, so I had to stop and figure out how to tighten it up, and it took a few trips back and forth to the toolbox before I finally figured out that all this time all I needed to do was to twist the top back into place.
'Cause you're my sweetheart. When you're around, I feel the spark takes me higher, sweetheart. Let me be close to you forever and ever, darling.
And it's also the perfect day to clean all of the fake plants, and I usually take the larger plants outside to clean, but it's easier to clean the smaller plants in the sink. So just like I did with the lampshades, I rounded up all of the fake plants and brought them into the kitchen, and I just use a little soap and water to saturate the petals and leaves and wash away the dust. And some of the plants are plastic, so everything just rinses off with a little water, but the silk flowers are a little bit harder to clean, so if there's any spots, I work them out with my fingers, and once all the spots are gone, I can just rinse them out with water until all the soap is gone, and once they're all clean, I'll leave them outside to dry.
Show me what it's like to be circling among the clouds. 'Cause without you by my side, I would be stuck here on the ground. You're lighting up the way, I can see the road ahead of me. I won't be stumbling in the dark. Your eyes are shining like the stars. I was down until you saved me, until you set me free. My eyes were closed, now I see clear as day, and I just wanted to say that you can take me high. Feels like I can fly. You can take me high. I can see the sun staring at you when you make that smile. I'm moving closer to you now. I can't get close enough somehow. And I was there until you saved me, until you set me free. My eyes were closed, now I see clear as day, and I just wanted to say that you can take me high. Feels like I can fly.
It's much harder to clean the larger plants in the kitchen sink, so I like to bring them outside so that I can hose them off. But you could rinse them off in the tub or shower, and it's something that I like to do a few times a year. And most of the time I use the leaf blower to remove the dust from the plants, just like I blow off the dust from the lampshades, and that way I don't have to clean them as often.
Without you, you can take me high. Feels like I can fly. You can take me high.
And if I need to, I can always use the leaf blower to dry off the plants, but it's a warm sunny day, so I can just leave them outside to dry. And once they're clean, I'll just shake off the excess water and leave them out in the sun. The hummingbirds are very active in the early morning and early evenings, and it's so fun to watch all the activity outside this window. But this window is hard to keep clean, and the top of the window is slanted, so it collects dust faster than I can clean it. And then we usually get just enough rain so that all that dust runs down the front of the window, and it's easier to clean the glass when it's in the shade. The direct sunlight heats up the glass so that the cleaners evaporate and leave a film on the glass, and I just use water and a squeegee to clean the windows, and I have a microfiber scrubber that loosens up the dirt, and the squeegee removes the dirt and the water without leaving a residue behind. And glass can also scratch easily, so I like to rinse off the glass with water before I clean it.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know.
And of course, once I clean the outside of the glass, all the dirt on the inside shows up. But I'll just have to save the inside for another day.
We can be like with no distractions. We'll get away. This is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts.
And I was just about out of things to do outside when the table runner caught my eye, and it's made of some type of woven material that reminds me of bamboo, and it's spot clean only, and I usually take it outside to shake out the dust and crumbs that get stuck inside the runner, but I also like to take it outside and rinse it off a few times a year. And since I already had most everything cleared off the table, it seemed as good a time as any to give it a weekly cleaning. It was such a perfect day, and even Miss Callie had the right idea, but I'd run out of things to do outside, and I still had a few more things to do inside before I could join Miss Callie. And there's not a lot left to do today, but I do need to fold the laundry so that I can get it put away, and it's one of those things that's tempting to put off, but that just means I'll have more laundry to fold tomorrow, so it's just easier to get it out of the way now.
Standing underneath the lights, look into each other's eyes. Tired snowflakes are coming down, collapse into water when they hit the ground. I hear the sound of empty streets. Yesterday has gone to sleep. All that's left is you and me. I can't promise you're the only thing I see. Hold my hand and hear the words I say. Close your eyes and let us fade away. Build a secret place for you and me. Let our minds be caught up in a dream. Quiet voices in the night, is running out of sight. A lonely wind is passing by, tries to carry all the whispers that it finds. The walls are listening when we talk, making echoes as we walk. There's no one left but you and me. It's like a made-up place that only we can see. Hold my hand and hear the words I say. Close your eyes and let us fade away. Till the secret place for you and me. Let our minds be caught up in a dream.
And while I was on my way upstairs to put the laundry away, I noticed that Miss Callie woke up from her nap and wanted back inside, so I had to make a little pit stop on my way upstairs to open the door for Miss Callie.
I'm gonna let the sun shine in today. I'm trying to make this darkness go away. I'll paint with colors and I'll sing until my lungs give out. I'm gonna let the sun shine in today. And I will leave my windows open so that I can hear the sound of people talking and the wind blowing in the trees. Oh, I will open up my eyes so I can see the light. Try to spread my wings so I can fly. Oh, and the darkness starts to fade. Feels like things are gonna go my way. I'm gonna let the sun shine in the day. I'm gonna let the past be filled with smoke, and I will try to fix what has been broken. Take this weight off my shoulders, 'cause I know yesterday ain't coming back. I'm gonna let the past stay in the cold. I will listen to the ocean, let its unsaid words be spoken, and I'll let my mind be carried by the waves. Oh, I will open up my eyes so I can see the light. Try to spread my wings so I can fly. Oh, and the darkness starts to fade. Feels like things are gonna go my way. I'm gonna let the sun shine in the day.
The coast was clear when I started to vacuum, but then the traffic started to pick up and I ended up having to vacuum around a few obstacles. And then I realized that the robot vacuum was running downstairs and the dogs were trying to get out of the way so that they didn't get run over.
I see it in your eyes. Yeah, I can read the signs. You need to get away. It's time we make a change. Oh, you know you'll always have me. Baby, I will always stay with you. So put your trust in me. We'll work it out, you'll see. If we get in a car and drive someplace far, yeah, we can fly for the ride. The two of us, we don't have to stop.
And this bathroom is the last thing on my list today, and it hasn't been used since the last time I cleaned it, but I still need to come in and clean the toilet and wipe everything down so that I can run the water through the pipes. And I always start with the toilet to give the cleaner time to dwell while I clean the rest of the bathroom. And cleaning the mirror is usually one of the last things I clean in the bathroom so that I don't splash water all over the mirror I just cleaned. But I'm just wiping everything down with a microfiber to get the dust off today.
I want you to myself. We can stay in hotels, just living off the edge. Only good times ahead. So let me put a smile upon your face. Baby, make your worries go away. So put your trust in me. Get in a car and drive someplace far. Yeah, we could go for a ride. You and I, let us run away. We can go where we want. I'll have your back if you have mine. You and I wanna leave everything behind. If you wanted to, promise you we will be alright. If it's you and I, you and I.
And this room doesn't get a lot of traffic, so it doesn't get a lot of dust, so I don't need to clean it quite as often, but I do still need to clean the toilet so that the hard water deposits don't build up along the water line. And the last thing I need to do is rinse out the tub, and it's almost scary what I can find in here if I leave it go too long. And so it helps to rinse out the tub, but the trap also needs water to keep the sewer gases from getting into the house, so running water down the drain helps to keep water in the traps. Cleaning this bathroom was the one thing that I needed to get done today, and I'd put off cleaning the bathroom all day, so it was nice to finally have it done. And now the only thing standing in the way of my afternoon siesta was getting all the plants back in the house. And even though I had a hard time getting motivated this morning, there's still plenty of time left this afternoon to enjoy the rest of the day. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications before you go. And thank you so much for spending your time with me today, and I hope to see you next time.